Soft jazz melodies and the gentle flicker of candlelight set the stage for Brandon and Rachel's special anniversary dinner at the upscale restaurant. The ambience was elegant, a perfect reflection of the couple's journey together. Brandon couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment and happiness as he gazed into Rachel's eyes. Their intimate celebration took an unexpected turn when, from across the room, Brandon spotted a familiar face. His heart skipped a beat as he recognized Nicole, his ex-girlfriend from high school, sitting at a nearby table. She was accompanied by a well-dressed man who exuded an air of affluence. A tight knot formed in Brandon's stomach as the memories of his past with Nicole resurfaced. "Brandon, what's wrong?" Rachel asked, noticing the sudden change in his demeanor. He hesitated, then forced a smile. "Nothing, it's just, I think I saw someone I used to know." As they continued their dinner, Brandon's unease lingered. He stole glances at Nicole, who seemed to relish the opulence surrounding her. The air crackled with tension as he wondered how their paths had diverged so dramatically. Later in the evening, as Brandon and Rachel were savoring dessert, Nicole approached their table with a smug smile. Well, Brandon. Fancy meeting you here," she purred, her tone dripping with condescension. "Nicole," Brandon replied, masking his discomfort. "This is Rachel, my wife." Nicole's eyes darted between them, a hint of surprise flickering across her face. "Wife? My, how times have changed. I suppose you've done well for yourself, despite everything." Rachel, sensing the tension, smiled politely. "Nice to meet you, Nicole. We're celebrating our anniversary tonight." Nicole's new boyfriend chimed in, his arrogance evident. "Anniversary, eh? Must be a far cry from the good old days, huh, Brandon?" Brandon felt a surge of frustration, but kept his composure. "Times change, people change," he replied, raising his glass to toast with Rachel. Nicole chuckled, a sound that grated on Brandon's nerves. "Breaking up with you was the best decision I ever made. It allowed me to marry someone successful and honorable, unlike some people I used to know." Rachel, ever the supportive partner, interjected, "Well, we're happy with the choices we've made. Excuse us, we have our own celebration to enjoy." As Nicole and her boyfriend sauntered away, Brandon couldn't shake the mix of emotions swirling within him. The encounter left a bitter taste, but he found solace in Rachel's reassuring presence. Little did he know, this unexpected reunion would set in motion a series of events that would redefine his past and shape a brighter future. The echoes of Nicole's condescending words lingered in Brandon's mind long after the encounter at the restaurant. He couldn't shake the feeling of inadequacy that resurfaced from his past with her. As he and Rachel returned home, the tension in the air was palpable. "What was that all about, Brandon?" Rachel asked, her eyes searching his face for answers. Brandon sighed, his shoulders slumping under the weight of the memories. "Nicole was my ex-girlfriend from high school. Seeing her tonight brought back a lot of old baggage." Rachel furrowed her brow, concern etched on her face. Why did she act like that? And what did she mean by breaking up with you being the best decision she ever made? Brandon hesitated, unsure of how to unravel the complex web of emotions entwined with his past. "We were high school sweethearts, but things changed after my father passed away. I faced financial struggles, took on part-time work, and it became too much for her. She broke up with me, saying it was for the best." Rachel's eyes softened with empathy. "I had no idea, Brandon. That must have been incredibly tough for you." "Yeah," Brandon admitted it was, "but I found my way, and I have you to thank for that." The following days were marked by a cloud of introspection hanging over Brandon. The unexpected reunion had stirred dormant feelings, prompting him to revisit the choices he'd made and the person he'd become. Little did he know, the past held secrets that were about to surface. One evening, as Brandon and Rachel were going through old photo albums, they stumbled upon a faded picture from a high school dance. Brandon's eyes fixated on a younger version of himself and Nicole, their smiles frozen in time. "I remember this," Rachel said, her finger tracing the outline of the photograph. "You and Nicole were quite the couple back then." Brandon nodded, his gaze fixed on the past. "It's strange, isn't it? How one moment can shake the course of your life." As if on cue, a letter fell out from between the pages of the album. Brandon unfolded it, revealing a yellowed piece of paper filled with Nicole's handwriting. "What's that?" Rachel asked. "It's a letter Nicole wrote to me when we broke up," Brandon replied, his voice tinged with surprise. "I never opened it." Rachel's eyes widened as Brandon began to read aloud. The letter spoke of Nicole's conflicted emotions, her struggle to choose between love and societal expectations, and the pressure to conform to a certain image. As Brandon reached the end, he couldn't help feel a strange mix of empathy and closure. "She was going through a lot too," Rachel observed, placing a comforting hand on Brandon's shoulder. "Yeah," Brandon agreed, a weight lifted from his chest. "Maybe it's time to put the past behind us and focus on the present." Little did they know, this unexpected revelation was just the beginning of a journey that would reshape their understanding of the past and pave the way for a brighter future. As Brandon delved deeper into the past, the vivid memories of high school came rushing back, each moment tinged with the bittersweet nostalgia of youth. He found himself transported to the bustling hallways, echoing laughter, and the vibrant energy of a time when life felt boundless. In the flashback, Brandon strolled through the corridors, his younger self sporting a carefree smile. His eyes met Nicole's, and the connection between them was instant. She was the epitome of high school popularity, known for her beauty and charm, and he, an ordinary guy who found himself caught in the whirlwind of her allure. Their romance blossomed against the backdrop of football games, prom dances, and stolen moments in secluded corners of the school. The young couple navigated the complexities of teenage love, and for a while, life seemed destined for a fairy tale ending. The turning point arrived with an unexpected blow. Brandon's father, the pillar of his family, passed away, leaving them grappling with the harsh reality of financial strain. As the burden of responsibility fell on Brandon's shoulders, the dreamy high school romance began to unravel. One evening, in the quiet confines of the park where they used to share secrets, Nicole confronted Brandon about the inevitable changes. "I don't know if I can do this, Brandon," Nicole confessed, her eyes reflecting a mix of sympathy and uncertainty. "Do what?" Brandon asked, confusion etched on his face. Us," she replied, gesturing between them. "Your family is going through a tough time, and I can't ignore the whispers. People are talking, and my parents expect me to follow a certain path." Brandon's heart sank as the weight of her words settled in. "Are you saying you're breaking up with me because of my family's situation?" Nicole sighed, a hint of remorse in her eyes. "Brandon, I have a reputation to uphold. I can't be with someone who can't provide the kind of life I'm expected to have." The breakup shattered Brandon, and the echoes of those words haunted him for years. He chose to forego college, opting instead for a full-time job at a liquor store to support his family. The dreams they once shared faded away, replaced by the harsh reality of life's unpredictability. Fast forward to the present, Brandon shared the details of that painful conversation with Rachel. As he recounted the events, Rachel listened empathetically, understanding the layers of hurt embedded in those high school memories. "That must have been incredibly difficult for you, Brandon," Rachel remarked, her hand gently squeezing his. "It was," Brandon admitted, a mix of vulnerability and determination in his eyes, "but it led me to where I am now, and I wouldn't change a thing." As the flashback to high school concluded, the couple faced the present with a newfound appreciation for the resilience that had shaped their journey. Little did they know, the past held more revelations that would redefine their understanding of love, loss, and the strength found in unexpected places. The echoes of high school struggles lingered as Brandon continued to unravel his past. As he opened up about the breakup with Nicole, Rachel listened with empathy, her eyes reflecting a mix of understanding and compassion. The warmth of her presence made the painful memories more bearable. In the flashback to those challenging times, Rachel emerged as a beacon of support. She was not just a bandmate. She was the unwavering friend who stood by Brandon when the world seemed to crumble around him. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at work, Brandon found solace in the familiar notes of his guitar. The melancholic melody echoed through the empty streets as Rachel appeared on his doorstep, her eyes filled with concern. "Brandon, I heard about your dad. I'm so sorry," Rachel said, her voice a soothing balm to his wounded soul. He nodded, unable to find the right words. Rachel stepped inside, and without a word, they sat in shared silence, the music providing a cathartic release. In that moment, Rachel's unspoken support spoke volumes. Days turned into weeks, and Rachel continued to be a constant presence. Whether it was lending a listening ear or sharing a simple meal, she became the anchor that steadied Brandon's turbulent emotions. One rainy evening, as they sat on Brandon's porch, the sound of raindrops tapping on the roof created a serene backdrop for their conversation. "You know, Brandon, you don't have to face this alone," Rachel said, her gaze fixed on the rain-soaked streets. He looked at her, gratitude welling in his eyes. "I appreciate everything you've done for me, Rachel. I don't know how I would have gotten through this without you." She smiled, a mixture of friendship and something more profound. "That's what friends are for, Brandon. We stick together, no matter what." As the weeks turned into months, Rachel's support extended beyond emotional comfort. She encouraged Brandon to pursue his passion for music, convinced that it held the key to healing. Together, they navigated the challenges of part-time jobs and the uncertainties of the future. One evening, as they sat in a small, dimly lit cafe, the strains of a live band filled the air. Rachel looked at Brandon, her eyes sparkling with determination. "You belong on that stage, Brandon. Your music has the power to change lives, including yours." He hesitated, the weight of self-doubt evident in his eyes. Rachel leaned in, her words firm yet gentle. "Believe in yourself, Brandon. I believe in you. We'll face whatever comes our way, together." As the flashback merged with the present, Brandon realized the profound impact of Rachel's unwavering support. The struggles of those early days had forged a connection that transcended friendship, laying the foundation for a love that would withstand the test of time. Little did they know, the unexpected twists of fate were about to bring forth revelations that would reshape their lives in ways they could never have imagined. The unexpected twist in Brandon's life began to unfold when the truth about Nicole and her new boyfriend emerged. News of their involvement in a marriage scam sent shockwaves through their seemingly perfect world. Rachel's family, successful business owners, played a crucial role in exposing the deceit that had threatened to cast a shadow over Brandon's newfound success. One evening, as Brandon and Rachel were enjoying a quiet dinner at home, the phone rang, interrupting the tranquility of the night. Rachel's father, Richard, a shrewd businessman with a keen sense of justice, delivered the shocking news. "Brandon, you won't believe what we've uncovered about Nicole and her boyfriend," Richard said, his voice carrying a mix of disbelief and determination. "What happened?" Brandon asked, his curiosity tinged with apprehension. "They're involved in a marriage scam, defrauding people for financial gain. We've been investigating them for a while now, and we have enough evidence to expose their entire operation," Richard explained. Brandon's eyes widened in astonishment. The revelation seemed surreal, a plot twist straight out of a suspense novel. Rachel, sensing Brandon's disbelief, added, "They used their ill-gotten gains to maintain a facade of success and wealth. But their empire is built on lies, and we're going to bring it crashing down." In the following days, Rachel's family, armed with legal expertise and unwavering determination, exposed the fraudulent activities of Nicole and her boyfriend. News outlets caught wind of the scandal, and the once charmed couple faced public scrutiny. As the truth unfolded, Nicole's carefully constructed world began to crumble. Desperation replaced arrogance, and the consequences of her actions came knocking at her door. Financial troubles and estrangement from family and friends became the bitter reality she could no longer escape. One evening, as Brandon and Rachel watched the news coverage, Rachel's mother, Emily, voiced her thoughts. "Sometimes, Brandon, life has a way of balancing the scales. What they did was wrong, and now they're facing the consequences." Brandon nodded, a mix of emotions churning within him. "I never expected something like this to happen. It's like a surreal twist of fate." Emily smiled, her eyes reflecting a motherly pride. "You've come a long way, Brandon. This twist might just be the beginning of a new chapter for you." As the unexpected twist played out in the public eye, Brandon's career soared to new heights. The exposure brought attention to his resilience in the face of adversity, and he found himself at the helm of GJ Holdings, a position he once considered an impossible dream. In the quiet moments that followed, Brandon reflected on the intricacies of fate and the role Rachel's family had played in reshaping his destiny. Little did he know, this unexpected turn of events would lead him down a path of even greater success and fulfillment. As the chapter unfolded, Brandon and Rachel stood side by side, ready to face whatever twists and turns life had in store for them. The unexpected twist of Nicole's exposure as a fraudster marked a turning point in Brandon's life. With the support of Rachel's family, he found himself ascending the corporate ladder at JJ Holdings, a journey that surpassed his wildest dreams. The liquor store employee transformed into the CEO of a thriving company, and the echoes of his past struggles became a powerful narrative of resilience and triumph. As Brandon settled into his new role, the challenges of leading a successful corporation presented themselves. One day, in a boardroom meeting, Brandon found himself confronted with the complexities of decision-making at the top. Rachel's father, Richard, a seasoned businessman, offered guidance. "Brandon, leadership is not just about making decisions, it's about making the right decisions. Take a moment to assess the options and remember your journey is an inspiration to many." Brandon nodded, the weight of responsibility evident in his eyes. "I never imagined I'd be in a position like this. It's both exhilarating and daunting." Richard chuckled, his voice resonating with wisdom. "Life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? But you've earned this, Brandon. Your dedication and integrity have set you apart." In the midst of corporate responsibilities, Brandon and Rachel found themselves attending glamorous events and galas, the kind they once only dreamed of. The high society circles that were once exclusive became their reality, a stark contrast to the struggles of their past. One evening, as they stood on the balcony of a luxurious penthouse overlooking the city lights, Rachel whispered, "Can you believe how far we've come?" Brandon wrapped his arm around her, a sense of accomplishment filling the air. "It's surreal. But I wouldn't be here without you and your family. I'll never forget that." Rachel smiled, her eyes reflecting pride and love. "You earned this, Brandon. Remember, it's not just about where you are, it's about how you got here." As Brandon navigated the intricacies of corporate life, he discovered the power of alliances and strategic partnerships. JJ Holdings thrived under his leadership, and the once stouted CEO became a symbol of success and inspiration. One day, during a business conference, Brandon found himself in conversation with a potential business partner. The exchange was a dance of negotiation and strategy, and as the deal neared its final stages, the partner extended a hand. "I must say, Mr. Evans, your story is quite inspiring. From a liquor store to the CEO of JJ Holdings, it's an impressive journey." Brandon shook the offered hand, gratitude and humility in his response. "Thank you. It's been a journey filled with challenges and unexpected turns, but I wouldn't change a thing." The partner smiled, a genuine acknowledgement of Brandon's accomplishments. "Well, here's to the unexpected journeys that lead to extraordinary destinations." As the chapter of climbing the corporate ladder unfolded, Brandon found himself at the helm of success, supported by the love of his life and the alliances forged along the way. Little did he know, the twists of fate were not yet done weaving their intricate tapestry. Brandon and Rachel, now basking in the glow of their achievements, found themselves in a place of unparalleled success and happiness. The struggles of the past had sculpted them into resilient individuals, and the unexpected turns of life had led them to a future they once only dared to dream of. As the CEO of JJ Holdings, Brandon steered the company to new heights. The once small liquor store employee had become a visionary leader, shaping the company's trajectory with innovation and strategic prowess. His office, adorned with accolades and symbols of accomplishment, reflected the remarkable journey from adversity to triumph. One day, as Brandon reviewed reports in his expansive office, Rachel entered with a tray of coffee. She looked at him, a mixture of admiration and love in her eyes. "You've come a long way, Brandon. I'm so proud of you." He smiled, acknowledging the sentiment. "It's surreal, isn't it? Sometimes I still can't believe how life turned around." Rachel sat across from him, sipping her coffee. "You worked hard for this, Brandon. Your resilience and determination are truly inspiring." He reached across the table, squeezing her hand. "I couldn't have done it without you, Rachel. Your support has been my anchor through it all." The success also brought a sense of fulfillment and contentment to their personal lives. Their home, once a modest refuge, now stood as a testament to their shared journey. In the quiet moments, as they sat on the porch overlooking the city lights, Brandon reflected on the twists of fate that had shaped their story. One evening, Rachel voiced the sentiment that lingered in the air. Do you ever think about how different life would be if things hadn't turned out this way? Brandon pondered the question, a grateful smile playing on his lips. Sometimes, but I wouldn't change a thing. The struggles made us who we are, and the journey brought us here together. The success, however, was not without its challenges. Brandon found himself navigating the intricacies of corporate politics, making decisions that affected not only the company but the lives of its employees. In a candid conversation with Rachel, he shared the weight of his responsibilities. I never imagined the responsibilities that come with this position, Brandon confessed. Sometimes I question if I'm making the right choices. Rachel placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. You're doing your best, Brandon. The fact that you care so much shows the kind of leader you are. Don't forget, you're not alone in this. The chapter of current success and happiness unfolded with a delicate balance between corporate triumphs and the warmth of a loving partnership. Brandon and Rachel's bond, forged through trials, stood unshaken as they navigated the complexities of their newfound life. As they faced the challenges and relished in the victories, little did they know that the twists of fate were not done shaping the narrative of their extraordinary journey. With the tapestry of their lives woven through unexpected twists, Brandon and Rachel found themselves at a point of reflection and gratitude. The struggles and triumphs, once disparate threads, now formed a cohesive narrative of resilience, love, and unforeseen opportunities. One evening, as they strolled through a park paved in the golden hues of the setting sun, Brandon couldn't help but marvel at the journey they had undertaken. Rachel, he began, a sense of wonder in his voice, do you ever stop to think about how different things could have been? She nodded, a contemplative expression on her face. All the time, it's like we were given a second chance at happiness. They found a bench beneath a sprawling oak tree, its branches casting a dappled pattern of light and shadows. As they sat, the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and Brandon continued, I never imagined I'd go from a struggling young man to the CEO of a successful company. It's like a dream. Rachel smiled, her eyes reflecting the journey they had shared. Life has a way of surprising us, and you deserve every bit of success, Brandon. Their conversation turned to moments of gratitude and the people who had played pivotal roles in their lives. The name Nicole, once a symbol of heartbreak, now held less power over Brandon. It was replaced by the profound appreciation for Rachel's unwavering support. You know, Rachel, meeting you was the turning point in my life. Your support during the darkest times gave me the strength to overcome the challenges, Brandon confessed, his gaze fixed on her. Rachel reached for his hand, intertwining their fingers, and meeting you, Brandon, was the best thing that ever happened to me. Our journey may have been unexpected, but I wouldn't change a single moment. As they continued their walk, their conversation meandered through the intricacies of personal growth, love, and the profound impact of gratitude. It was in these moments of reflection that Brandon acknowledged the transformation within himself. I used to carry the weight of the past like a burden, Brandon admitted, his voice tinged with vulnerability. But now, I see it as a part of who I am. It shaped me, but it doesn't define me. Rachel leaned against him, a silent affirmation of understanding. Our past doesn't determine our future, Brandon. It's the choices we make now that matter. In the quietude of the park, surrounded by the symphony of nature, Brandon reflected on his personal growth, the unexpected turns of fate, and the gratitude that filled his heart. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow on the world around them, he couldn't help but feel a sense of completion. We've come a long way, haven't we? Rachel said, breaking the serene silence. Brandon nodded, a smile playing on his lips, and we have a lifetime of adventures ahead. I wouldn't want to walk this path with anyone else but you, Rachel. As the couple embraced beneath the oak tree, the chapter of reflection and gratitude unfolded, setting the stage for the next chapters in their extraordinary journey. Little did they know, the twists of fate would continue to shake their lives, bringing new surprises and challenges to the story they were creating together.